Mr. Speaker, the President of
CGQ Plus.
So it's the Christmas season, which means that 2019 is coming to a close. And I think a lot of us, as the year wraps up, we look back at the kind of year that we had, maybe our successes and failures, or just what we went through, and just sort of take stock of things. And something I've kind of taken stock of is this channel. And quite frankly, I don't feel like CGQ Plus had a very good year in 2019. Now, when I started this show, I said, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something about, having a place to just sort of be more free to just do whatever I want as far as free form video content, and, not worry about the YouTube algorithm, which we're all deathly afraid of, even though none of us really knows how it works. But really, the main reason that I started CGQ Plus was to make the flashback episodes. Now, I didn't know at the time that I was going to call them flashback. And in fact, I think for the first couple episodes, I was calling them something silly like CGQ Memories or whatever. But that was really the big idea that I had of, I wanted to do sort of this podcast style content where I was just going to talk about, what at least to me are the good old days of being a kid growing up in the 80s and into the 90s. And as I look back at 2019, I only made 4 episodes of Flashback. And, I know that a lot of sort of the biggest fans, or most active members of the Classic Gaming Quarterly viewer community are either here, they found the show because of the flashback episodes, or that's like their favorite kind of episodes. Really, it seems like, I make these launch episodes, which are awesome, and I like making them, but those really aren't the episodes that I think make the sort of biggest fans of the show, if you will, because they're very impersonal. Whereas when I do magazine read-throughs, or especially, like I said, going through and just telling stories from the old days, that really seems like that's what, really connects with the audience and kind of helps form the community that we have, I think, around Classic Gaming Quarterly. And so to have gone an entire calendar year only making 4 of them, it bothers me. I don't want to say I'm ashamed, but that's not what I want. And if you look back at the previous year, as an example, 2018, I made 14 episodes of Flashback. And, I think this year, I think I got distracted by other things. Certainly going to the conventions, it took up time. I've been doing Classic Gaming Quarterly now for over 6 years. And so, getting to go to conventions and meet fans and rub elbows with other YouTubers is a nice way of sort of taking a victory lap, if you will. But it really, it did take up, time and money, and, and that was stuff that was taken away from the show. And that's not the way I want things to be. Making flashback episodes on this channel is the way I want things to be, along with doing the live streams. Now, I did do 24 live streams this year, which is quite a few, but that's 24 live streams compared to only 4 episodes of flashback. And then that gets us to the other thing, which is sort of these pickups videos, or mail videos, if you want to call them that. And that is one of the things that, I really think that's helped CGQ Plus to kind of go off the rails a little bit. I don't know with which episode I started showing people's postcards at the beginning of the episode, and then that turned into showing people's packages at the beginning of the episode. And then at some point I kind of wisened up and broke those off into their own episodes. But to do an equal amount of that type of episode, in relation to the flashback episodes, it's just not how I want the show to go. Like when I look back at the last 6 months to a year of CGQ Plus, I feel like the show has kind of devolved into live streams and pickups videos, which there's nothing wrong with those, with that type of content, but it's just not what I want for my show. And I mean, I can't remember anybody's name specifically, but I know, I read everybody's comments, obviously. And I know there were people that left comments saying, please don't let your channel turn in to, just live streams and whatnot. And I feel like sort of inadvertently, that's what I've done. And, so just to put it out there that I'm cognizant of that, and that going into 2020, that's not what I want to be the case any longer. So, all that is to say that, I want to sort of rededicate myself, if you will, to making flashback episodes. But it also means that I'm just not going to be featuring on the show any longer things that people send in. And that's why I wanted to get this episode out. This isn't an episode. Get this video out before the Christmas special, because in the Christmas special, I will be opening a lot of packages that people sent in. I mean, this is going to be like Classic Gaming Quarterly Christmas morning. And for something like a Christmas special, I think it's completely appropriate to be doing exactly that. I mean, it's, this is the season of giving, and a lot of you have been very generous in sending us or sending stuff into the show. I've also tried to send out stuff to some of you guys, not as many as I would have liked to. Obviously, it's difficult when, there's a lot more of you than there are of me, and I just can't send something to everybody. But, anytime for the last month or so, if I go out to the stores and I see something and I say, oh, so-and-so would like that, and I have your address because you've sent me something or sent me a postcard, I've stuck it in the mail. But it makes me feel bad that I can't do it for everybody. But, I kind of don't, I've said this before, I don't really want to encourage it because it's just not why we do the show. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I do appreciate when somebody feels so inspired by the show that they want to send me something, like spend their own money, time and money, sending something into the show. And it's very hard to try to walk this fine line where you want to show your gratitude towards people, but at the same time, you don't want to give the impression that that's why you're doing the show, and you don't really want to give the impression that you're encouraging people to send stuff in. So that's just to say that if you'd like to send things into the show, I appreciate it. I've kept everything that everybody's ever sent me. I don't turn around and sell it or anything like that. And I will continue to send out thank you notes to people, but I'm not going to be featuring any of that stuff here on the channel anymore. It's just going to have to be sort of just a personal correspondence between, me and whoever sends, whether it's a postcard or a magazine or anything. Because, like I said, I think in the past 6 months to a year, things have kind of gotten a little bit out of hand, not out of hand, but, just to say it again, off the rails. And I just feel like I want to right the ship of this channel. I'm sort of seeing indications that maybe a lot of people are starting to lose a little bit of interest, and I don't blame you, because the last 6 months or so of the show are not representative of what I want it to be here on CGQ Plus. Classic Gaming Quarterly, I'm proud of the year that we put out a couple of big releases, including the launch of the Sega Dreamcast, along with a number of magazine read-throughs. So I'm very proud of that. But as far as this channel goes, I think I've sort of allowed, I allowed it to get commercialized a little bit with some of the Sega stuff. And as I said, I've allowed it to, I think, devolve into a little bit too much of, package unboxing and just stuff that's a little bit too stereotypical of a lot of other YouTube channels out there, when, what I want is things like flashback episodes. What I want is that when you guys get a notification that there's a new episode up on CGQ Plus, that you're excited to come check it out, and that, you know, when you see what it is, you're excited to watch it instead of, you know, seeing it and being like, oh, it's just another packages video or whatever. So that's all I really had to say. I just wanted to say it now instead of saying it at the beginning of the Christmas episode, because that would be very awkward to say that and then like, oh, now we're going to open all these packages. Again, we're going to have a great time opening all this stuff people have sent in for the Christmas episode, but I don't want anybody to watch that and think, oh, I need to send something. Like you don't need to send me anything, honestly. If you want to send a postcard, like I said, that's great. You know, honestly, if you leave a comment on a video and just that you enjoyed and just say, oh, I love this video or whatever, that means as much as anything. And I'm not telling anybody to do that either, but you know, I just appreciate that you guys watch the show, and you know, you guys are why I make the show. If there wasn't an audience, there wouldn't be one. So that's really all I had to say. Today's Monday. I think I'm going to record the Christmas episode on Thursday afternoon, perhaps. And then I don't know when it's going to get uploaded, though, because I do have to edit it at least a little bit. And then Friday night is when I'm currently planning on doing the Christmas live stream, which is a little bit earlier than I would have liked to do it. But we're actually going to go out of town, and we're not going to be back until Christmas Eve. And I don't think my wife would be all that cool with me doing a live stream on Christmas Eve, which, frankly, I wouldn't blame her. So that's it. I will see you guys all again later in the week. Thanks for listening. I hope everything I just said came out the way I was hoping that it would. I don't want to sound like I'm not thankful for all of you guys, but what I'm saying is I want to get the channel back to where it's supposed to be, and you know, I want you guys to enjoy it for what it's supposed to be instead of for what I feel like it's kind of turned into lately. So that's it. You guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys again at the end of the week.